Hey, I wasn't planning to do a review for 47 Meters Down Uncaged. I wasn't even planning to see it. But the other day I tagged along with my sister, shout out Rachel, and it was just so bad I decided I wanted to put my thoughts out into the universe and warn anyone from seeing this underwater waste of time. So, I am recording this not in my usual setup, but in my car outside of a convenience store so I can get it out quickly. I was surprised this movie was even in theaters. The first 47 Meters Down wasn't very good, but it did make 60 million, so I guess a sequel technically makes some sense. However, with a title like 47 Meters Down Uncaged, you'd think this was a straight to DVD sequel. The quality is about on that level, maybe a little bit lower. Since this is now 47 Meters Down Uncaged, it follows four stupid teenage girls not in the middle of shark cages in the ocean, but rather exploring caves, being attacked by blind sharks. It's kind of a mix between a typical shark movie, The Descent, and a big, meaty handful of dog shit. This movie is hard to watch. And yes, I mean it's hard to watch because it's bad, but it's also literally hard to watch what is happening on the screen. It is so dark all the time, and everyone is wearing masks. I could never really tell who anyone was. Sure, it's not like anyone actually cares about these characters. If you put a gun to my head right now and gave me 100 guesses, I still couldn't give you a character name. These characters are just there to scream and swim and die, but it's hard to even follow along with who is dying when I can't tell who I'm looking at. Speaking of what looks bad in this movie, the shark looks like it's straight out of a PS2 game. I found it incredibly hard to be frightened when this killer shark is obviously not there. It looks like it was pulled from Zoo Tycoon. Beyond the characters and visuals being ass, the dialogue was mega ass. This movie is absolutely riddled with cliche lines. One example is at one point a character is explaining just the most basic information about the caves, and another girl turns to her and says, "Thanks, Professor." None of these interactions sound like they take place between two humans. Also, I want to quickly shout out the fact that within the first 15 minutes of this movie, we got two separate slow motion scenes of the girls playing while a pop song plays in the background. Not two different pop songs. No, we get a slow motion scene of the girls dancing in a car, then they get out of the car, then they jump into the water, and then the exact same song kicks in again as they splash around. It felt like someone edited in a Forever 21 ad. This movie's biggest sin isn't that the characters, story, dialogue, and visuals suck. It's the fact that it is incredibly boring. All of those things could have been lacking, and this still could have been a dumb, fun shark movie. But there are just so many scenes where you're watching the girls swim around from place to place in the dark. I zoned out so many times and seriously considered just walking out. The only time I ever jumped in this movie was when I nodded off and then a dumb shark popped out to remind me that I was in a movie theater. On the topic of pop-ups, every jump scare is so predictable. Either it gets really quiet and a character points to where they need to go, or someone is giving a speech like Sam Jackson in Deep Blue Sea, then boom, there's Ray Charles the Shark out of nowhere. If nothing else at all, a shark movie should have good shark kills. And yeah, there's one decent one. But as I said earlier, this movie is so damn dark, I couldn't even see two of the other deaths. It was so lame. 90% of this movie is painfully dull. However, I will give some slight credit, as the last 10 minutes were so dumb and over the top, it was actually pretty hilarious. If you do care about spoilers for this movie, click on the timestamp in the comments and it'll skip ahead while I talk about the ending. Okay, so the two girls get out of the cave finally, and ironically, the boat that they see is a shark tour boat pouring out chum. They almost make it to the boat, but one girl gets dragged down by a great white shark. So the other girl jumps onto the boat, grabs a flare gun, dives all the way underwater, and shoots the shark in the eye. They make it back to the surface, then the other girl gets dragged down, and she has to stab the shark in the eye with a shark tooth. It's so fucking dumb, but honestly pretty funny. I wish the rest of the movie was on this level. So anyways, shockingly, I do not recommend this one. Unless you are a blind and deaf shark, I can't imagine you find any joy in this. You may think my title of Worst Movie of 2019 is clickbaity or too harsh, but honestly, of the movies I've seen in theaters this year, I haven't had less fun than I've had with this one. So instead of seeing 47 Meters Down Uncaged, go watch one of the other 100 shark movies. Or go outside and walk to your nearest ocean. Find your own sharks. Do anything else other than watching this movie. If you've seen this and agree, or you think I'm a big jerk, scream at me in the comments below. If you want to see more horror reviews, probably not recorded from my car, please consider subscribing. Anyways, I have to go. The man inside the store is looking at me. Bye.